Have you ever felt that, despite all your effort, something always seems to be missing in the dance of relationships? As if there were a secret code to ignite that genuine spark in his eyes, one that transcends the merely physical and reaches the depths of the masculine soul. There is a beautiful fragility in admitting that sometimes we get lost in the labyrinths of love, that we give too much or too little, that we seek validation in someone else's eyes when we should first find it in our own inner mirrors. The story I share today is not just about seduction or the games of conquest. It's about recognizing your innate power, just the way Princess Diana discovered it after years spent living in the shadow of expectations that weren't hers. It's about awakening the magnetism that's always been dormant within you, waiting for the right moment to bloom. When Diana realized that the palace had become a gilded cage for her true self, she didn't run away. She transformed. She understood that her real crown wasn't made of jewels, but of authenticity. And it was that authenticity that made her irresistible, not only to a prince, but to the entire world. You, just like she did, carry that same potential, the ability to stir an uncontrollable desire, not through manipulation, but through the genuine expression of who you truly are. A desire that transcends the body and reaches the soul. And you know what's most interesting? The path to awakening genuine masculine fascination leads through places we are rarely taught to explore. Attitudes that may seem taboo to a society that has conditioned women to be perpetually pleasant, predictable, and restrained. The emotional defense mechanisms we've built over the years often keep us from accessing that power. We create personas, perfect masks that protect us from rejection, but also keep us from the true connection we so deeply long for. Pause for a moment. Breathe deeply. Allow yourself to feel the vulnerability of these words resonating within you. There is an ancient wisdom awakening in you right now, connecting you with thousands of other women who, at this very moment, are seeking the same truth. If you feel that this message has found your heart at exactly the right time, it is no coincidence. Subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell so we can continue this journey together. Each alert will be a gentle reminder that you are not alone in exploring the depths of the feminine. Now, let us unveil the 7 attitudes Diana discovered on her journey of transformation. Attitudes that, when embraced with intention and authenticity, awaken an almost uncontrollable masculine desire, not through submission or manipulation, but through genuine reverence for your feminine power. 1. Strategic vulnerability. This first attitude may seem contradictory, yet it lies in the paradox of showing vulnerability on purpose. Diana learned that vulnerability is not weakness, it is refined courage. When you share selected parts of your story, your fears and hopes with awareness, you create a portal to intimacy few can resist. Psychology teaches us that self-disclosure fosters emotional closeness. Men are naturally drawn to women who show enough strength to admit their fragilities. This awakens in them the primal desire both to protect and to open up themselves. You don't need to expose all your wounds at once. Strategic vulnerability is like a dance, revealing and concealing, advancing and retreating. It's the whisper of a personal truth when all expect only superficial small talk. It's the trembling glance that steadies itself a moment later. This dance creates a silent magnetism. He will feel he knows parts of you no one else has seen, forging a bond that transcends the physical. Neuroscience confirms, when we share authentic vulnerabilities, the brain releases oxytocin, the bonding hormone, for both speaker and listener. Try revealing a dream you nearly gave up on but still secretly nurture, or an insecurity you're learning to transform into strength. Notice how this creates a magnetic field between you, a sacred space where desire naturally flourishes. 2. Conscious mystery. Even under relentless media scrutiny, Diana managed to preserve a core of mystery that left everyone wanting more. This is the second attitude, deliberately cultivating spaces in your life that remain yours alone. Conscious. Mystery is not a game or manipulation. It is healthy self-preservation and boundary setting. It's the deep understanding that not everything about you needs to be available for consumption. The male mind is inherently drawn to unexplored territory. When you keep secret gardens within your personality, you activate the explorer, instinct in every man's heart. He will yearn to learn more, to discover more, to earn more of your inner universe. This principle is rooted in the concept of perceived scarcity. We value more what is not completely available or requires effort to obtain. It's not about creating a false persona, but honoring the many dimensions of who you are. Perhaps it's a hobby you pursue alone, a friendship that is just yours, or simply moments of solitude you fiercely protect. Paradoxically, these boundaries do not repel, they attract, silently communicating, "There are treasures in me that need to be discovered, not taken." When you preserve your mystery, you create a space where masculine desire can project infinite possibilities. He won't just want your body, he will want the chance to keep uncovering the layers of your essence endlessly. 3. Magnetic autonomy. The third attitude Diana discovered was the power of autonomy as a force of attraction. When she began following her own internal compass, choosing causes, friends, and experiences that resonated with her truth, her magnetism multiplied exponentially. Magnetic autonomy is paradoxical. The more you move away from his need, the more he feels drawn to you, not by manipulation, but by genuine admiration. There is a psychological principle called self-determination theory that explains this phenomenon. Humans are naturally attracted to people who demonstrate competence, autonomy, and authentic connection to their own values. Especially men, who often define part of their identity by the ability to win something rare and valuable. Cultivating autonomy means nurturing your emotional, financial, and intellectual independence. It means developing your own opinions and expressing them with calm confidence. It means making decisions based on your values, not on a need for approval. When you fully inhabit your autonomy, you create a gravitational field around you. He will feel inspired to raise his own standards to deserve you, not because you demand it, but because he recognizes your inherent value. Try honoring a commitment you made to yourself, even when an enticing invitation arises. Notice how your resolve to prioritize your own needs awakens not resentment, but deep respect and intensified desire. 4. Sensory presence. The fourth attitude is perhaps simplest in concept, yet most challenging in our world of endless distractions. Diana mastered the art of total presence. When she spoke with someone, that person felt like the center of the universe. Sensory presence is the ability to fully inhabit the moment, engaging all your senses. It is the antithesis of the perpetually distracted woman, partially present, constantly checking her phone or worrying about what comes next. Neurologically, full presence activates powerful connections. When you offer mindful attention to a man, listening not just to his words, but perceiving the nuances of his body language, respecting his silences, responding with your whole being, you create an almost hypnotic experience. This attitude is grounded in the psychological concept of flow, that state where time seems to fold in on itself and only the now exists. When you cultivate this quality of presence, you transform ordinary interactions into transcendent experiences. Men rarely receive this kind of attention in a fragmented world. When you offer your undivided presence, without hurry or division, you awaken in him a desire that goes beyond the physical, a desire to return to that deep connection that exists only in the fully inhabited moment. Next time you meet, leave your phone in another room. Notice every micro-expression on his face. Allow pauses in the conversation without anxiously filling them. Respond not only to what he says, but to what he cannot articulate. Watch how this transforms the quality of desire between you. 5. Conscious polarity. The fifth attitude Diana discovered was the power of conscious polarity, the dance between your feminine and masculine energies, accessed intentionally according to context. In a world that often confuses equality with uniformity, we lose sight of the natural magnetism that arises from healthy polarity. Diana learned to fluidly move between her strength and receptivity, her assertiveness and softness. Conscious polarity is based on deep Jungian archetypes. We all possess masculine, animus, and feminine, anima aspects in our psyche. A woman who learns to honor and express both authentically creates an irresistible magnetic field. It is not about performing submission or domination, but genuinely accessing different facets of your nature. It's the ability to lead with clarity when needed and receive with openness when appropriate. It's the dance of initiation and response, of structure and flow. When you consciously embrace your multidimensional nature, you awaken in a man in almost primal response. He instinctively knows he is with a complete woman, not a one-dimensional caricature, but a whole person honoring all her complexities. Try alternating between moments of decisive leadership and moments of full receptivity. Observe how this creates a magnetic rhythm between you, a dance of approach and retreat that keeps desire alive and pulsating. 6. Radical authenticity. The sixth attitude that transformed Diana from a protocol-driven princess into a global icon was her growing radical authenticity. When she finally shed imposed masks, her magnetism became nearly irresistible. Radical authenticity means aligning your exterior with your interior, your expression with your essence. It is the courage to be true even when it means challenging expectations, breaking limiting molds, or displeasing others. This principle is grounded in the psychological concept of congruence, when thoughts, feelings, and actions are in harmony. Carl Rogers discovered that congruence is fundamental for healthy relationships and genuine attraction. In a world of calculated performances and carefully cultivated personas, the authentic woman stands out like a beacon. A man senses intuitively that what he sees is real, that what he wins will not vanish with the first sunrise. This ignites a desire that goes beyond conquest, a desire to build, to deepen, to explore genuinely. Try expressing an honest opinion, even if it's easier to agree. Wear an outfit that reflects your true mood, not just the latest trend. Laugh wholeheartedly when something genuinely amuses you. Notice how this authenticity creates a magnetic field around you. 7. Strategic appreciation. The seventh, and perhaps most powerful attitude Diana mastered was strategic appreciation, the ability to genuinely recognize qualities in a man that others may overlook, especially traits he hasn't fully acknowledged in himself. There is a subtle but crucial difference between manipulative flattery and strategic appreciation. The first seeks to please, the second seeks to illuminate the true potential you see. This principle is based on the psychological phenomenon known as the Pygmalion effect, or self-fulfilling prophecy. We tend to develop in the direction of the expectations we perceive others have of us, especially when these expectations come from someone we respect. When you strategically appreciate a man, sincerely naming specific qualities he may not value or recognize, you create a mirror where he sees a higher version of himself, not the man he is today, but the man he could become. This is not manipulation, but an act of emotional clairvoyance. It is seeing possibilities where others see only the present. It is naming strengths he may doubt he possesses. Diana excelled at this art. Her ability to look beyond appearances and genuinely appreciate qualities in people from all walks of life is what turned her personal tragedy into an immortal legacy. Try paying close attention to the man who interests you. Identify a quality in him that is underappreciated or ignored by others. Name it specifically, with concrete examples of when you observed it in action. Notice how this not only sparks desire, but almost transcendent loyalty. These 7 attitudes are not superficial techniques, but deep transformations in how you are and inhabit the world. They do not work as isolated tricks, but as integrated expressions of a woman fully owning her power. Diana discovered these truths, not in self-help books, but in the fiery forge of her own challenges. Her complex marriage, her struggle with body image, her search for meaning in a world trying to reduce her to a hollow symbol. By integrating these attitudes into your life, you too will undergo a metamorphosis. You will cease to be a woman trying to awaken desire and become a woman who naturally inspires it, without effort or manipulation. This transformation requires courage. It demands that you abandon behaviors that may have served as defense mechanisms for years, that you face fears of rejection and abandonment rooted deep in past experiences. Self-knowledge is the foundation of it all. To express authenticity, you must know your truth. To set healthy boundaries, you must identify your real needs. To offer strategic vulnerability, you must discern between opening with wisdom and exposing yourself recklessly. Like Diana, you will experience moments of doubt, lapses into old patterns, days when the urge to please outweighs the commitment to your truth. That is a natural part of the process. Remember, the ultimate goal is not simply to trigger masculine desire, but to forge genuine connections that honor both your essence and his. Authentic, uncontrollable desire arises not from games or manipulation, but from mutual recognition between two people committed to their own evolution. While Diana did not complete her journey of self-discovery, you have the opportunity to pick up where she left off, to transform your own life, not only to find the love you deserve, but to become the woman you were always meant to be. Each of these attitudes is like a facet of a diamond, powerful on its own, but together they create an irresistible brilliance. Begin with the one that resonates most deeply with you right now. Allow yourself to practice, fail, recalibrate, and grow. You will notice subtle changes at first, a longer glance, a different quality of attention, a newfound reverence in how he behaves in your presence. Over time, these transformations will deepen, enriching not only your romantic relationships, but all your connections. The emotional bonds you form from this new place will be qualitatively different, deeper, more authentic, more nourishing, based not on need or lack, but on conscious choice and mutual admiration. As you integrate these attitudes, you will also find that your relationship with yourself transforms. The need for external validation diminishes. Self-confidence blossoms, naturally. Anxiety about doing the right thing to attract or keep a man is replaced by the calm certainty of your own worth. Diana discovered after years of external searching that her true power was always within her, not in titles, jewels, or connections, but in her essential humanity, her compassion, her authenticity, her courage to break free from limiting expectations and embrace her own truth. You carry that same power within you. It does not need to be created, only rediscovered, awakened from its slumber, nurtured with conscious intention, and honored through daily practice. Imagine yourself a year from now, having integrated these 7 attitudes into your life. Visualize the woman you will have become, centered in her own axis, clear in her intentions, magnetic in her presence. See how men respond to you differently, not with superficial attraction to your looks or approval, but with genuine admiration for your essence. The journey of embodying these attitudes is not linear. There will be days of crystalline clarity and days of foggy confusion. Moments when everything flows naturally, and moments when old patterns resurface. That is normal. What matters is your ongoing commitment to your own evolution. By practicing strategic vulnerability, you will heal old wounds of rejection. By cultivating conscious mystery, you will strengthen your boundaries. By inhabiting your magnetic autonomy, you will free both yourself and your partners from toxic emotional dependence. Through sensory presence, you will discover the infinite richness contained in each moment. Through conscious polarity, you will integrate parts of yourself you may have repressed or denied. With radical authenticity, you will release the energy once spent maintaining masks and personas. And through strategic appreciation, you will not only transform how men respond to you, but genuinely contribute to their growth and evolution. These 7 attitudes form an integrated system for being and existing in the world, a relationship philosophy based not on techniques or manipulations, but on deep principles of human psychology and authentic connection. Diana uncovered them through trial and error, through pain and transformation. You have the privilege of receiving this wisdom as a gift, saving you years of painful learning. In your heart, you always knew these truths. They resonate because they tap into an ancestral feminine wisdom that transcends cultures and epochs. A lineage of women who learned, often silently, the secrets not just to awaken desire, but genuine reverence. As you integrate these attitudes into your life, you become not just more attractive to men, but more aligned with yourself, more capable of creating the kind of relationships that truly nourish your soul, rather than those that drain your energy and dim your light. What would it be like to live this way? To inhabit your body, mind, and heart with such clarity and intention? To attract not out of fear of loneliness or need for validation, but from the serene fullness of who you truly are? Diana began this journey as an insecure young woman cast into a role she did not choose. She ended it as a powerful woman who set her own terms, inspiring not only desire, but worldwide respect. Her true legacy was not her beauty or her title, but her courage to transcend imposed limitations and express her deepest truth. You are on that journey too. Each small daily choice, how you respond to a text, how you present yourself on a date, how you honor your own needs and boundaries, is a step along this path of transformation. It's not just about igniting masculine desire, though that will happen naturally. It's about igniting your own power, your own clarity, your own capacity to forge connections that truly honor who you are. Diana never had the chance to complete her evolution. Her light was extinguished too soon, leaving the world to wonder what more she might have become, what further realms of influence and impact she could have reached. You have that chance. You have the opportunity to continue where she left off, to embody these 7 attitudes, not only to transform how men respond to you, but to transform how you respond to life. The desire you awaken will not be based on superficial techniques or manipulative games, but on something far more powerful: the genuine recognition of your essential nature. The man who responds to these 7 attitudes isn't just responding to your appearance or behaviors, but to the truth of who you are. And that kind of desire, rooted in genuine recognition, not projection or fantasy, has the potential not only to sustain the initial phase of attraction, but to build a deep, evolving, and lasting relationship. Diana discovered these truths gradually, often through painful experiences. You have the blessing of receiving them as a map, saving years of trial and error, a guide to awaken not only masculine desire, but your own feminine power in its most authentic and magnetic expression. Allow these 7 attitudes to become not just strategies you apply occasionally, but integrated aspects of who you are. Let them transform not only your romantic relationships, but your relationship with yourself and the world. Just as Diana transcended her assigned role to become a global force for transformation, you too can transcend imposed limitations, whether internal or external, to express the fullness of who you truly are. And when you do, you will discover that the desire you awaken in others is merely a reflection of the power you have awakened within yourself.